Hey guys, we're on the way to the market right now and it starts in 50 minutes, so we're running a little bit late, but we are about to pull in and it is super cold out. I think it's like 30 something degrees right now, but the high said 42, so hopefully it's gonna warm up a little bit. But this is an outdoor market and I've never done one at this location before, but you can see the parking lot from the highway, so I'm hoping that people will see it from the highway and want to come. And on the Facebook event page it said like I think almost 800 people were interested in it, so it's not a ton, but maybe I'm hoping it will be good even though it's cold, but we will find out. This is my booth before the market. I had a pretty good stock of my small items for this market, and I had a lot of Christmas items, and I put out my beanies, and I had my new penguins, so lots of wintry stuff. Okay, so we are almost 2 hours into the market and I've only sold 3 things so far, but I have made my booth fee back, so at least that part is good. And I actually finished a few things while I was sitting here, so I'll show you guys the stuff that I finished. Okay, so it's actually been a while since the market, but I'm going to tell you everything that happened, and it actually ended up being a really good market and a super fun market, and I have a super fun announcement that I'm going to tell you guys, something that happened at this market. So I could not believe how cold it was, and I was like, why in the world am I doing a market today? It is so cold. Like, when we went to load up the car was like frosted over, and I took a picture of it, like the entire car was frosted over, and I'm thinking, what in the world are we doing? And I was like, I don't know if anyone is actually going to show up to a market when it's this cold. But it did actually warm up. So like the first couple hours were cold, and then once the sun came out, it was a lot nicer. And then during like the last hour or so, it actually got colder again because we got back into the shade. But this is actually a really awesome market. So I'll tell you guys everything that sold, but first I want to tell you something really funny that happened. So I had been sitting outside at my booth for a while and I needed to go to the restroom. So at this venue, this is actually a physical store that people can rent out booths and sell different crafts, art, and vintage items. So they have like the store open regularly, and then they've just recently started doing markets that people set up outside. So when I needed to go to the restroom, I went inside and I went like to the front desk and I asked them, where is the bathroom? And there were like 2 workers sitting there, and they kind of looked at each other like, oh no. And I'm thinking, what? Like, is the toilet messed up? Like, can I not use the bathroom or something? And then they said, do you like dogs? And I was like, yes, I love dogs. And I was like, oh my gosh, are there puppies in there? And they were like, no, not puppies. They're more like, the giant dogs that would eat the puppies. And I was like, okay, I'm excited. So it ended up that there were a couple of dogs that were running around, and when somebody opened the door, they ran right inside the store, and they didn't want the dogs to get hit by a car or anything, so they decided to let the dogs stay inside. So there's like a little hallway room to the bathroom, and so they closed them in there, and they were so cute. They were like pit bulls or American bullies, and they were just the cutest little dogs, and they were so happy, and I loved them. And I didn't have my phone on me because I left it at my booth, because if somebody wanted to pay with a card, then that way my boyfriend could use my phone to cash them out. So I didn't have my phone with me to take a picture. So anyways, after I went back, I told him, I was like, okay, whenever you go to the bathroom, I want you to take a picture of them because they are so cute. So he went in there and whenever he was coming out of the bathroom, there were like 3 girls trying to come in at the same time, and it's like a tiny hallway, and then like these crazy dogs in there, so he wasn't able to get a picture. So then later I was like, I'll go back later and I will take a picture after we eat. And then after we ate lunch and I went back in there, they were gone, and the animal welfare came and scanned them, and they had microchips, so they took them back home. So I'm glad that they went back home, but I really wanted a picture of them because they were so cute and I wanted to show you guys, but I didn't end up getting the picture, which is sad, but it made me so happy because those are like my favorite kinds of dogs, and so that made my day. And while I was sitting there in the beginning and it wasn't that busy, I actually was working on finishing some items that I had almost done. So I actually got quite a few items finished while I was sitting there, so I'll show you pictures of the items that I finished. I finished quite a few penguins because at my last market I sold out of all of the gray penguins, so I wanted to make some more of those. And I put some different eyes in them. I put some snowflake eyes in these ones. And then I also had some mini chicks that I finished up as well. I will go ahead and get into what sold, and then I have an announcement of something really cool that happened that I will tell you afterwards. So the first thing that I sold was one of my knit beanies, and it was like a royal blue one. So that sold for $20. I believe that is my first beanie that I've actually sold this season because the fall was very warm and no one had bought them yet. But finally at a cold market, so now I sold one. Next, I sold a blue axolotl, and that sold for $20. Then I sold a gray penguin, and this was the one with the yellow snowflake eyes, and that sold for $20. So I'm glad that I restocked the gray ones because although I had the pink and blue ones and purple ones there, still I had not sold one of the other colors yet, and just the gray one sold. Then I actually sold another gray penguin. So as you can tell, the gray penguins are definitely the most popular. This was one that had purple snowflake eyes. That sold for $20 as well. Then I sold one of my stickers, and this is the dog sticker, and this one sold for $3. And that is everything that I sold in the first and second hour. So in the first hour, I actually only sold that hat, and then the second hour, I sold quite a few more things. And then now we are getting into the third hour. So I sold an orange popping mushroom, and that sold for $15. Then I sold another popping mushroom, but I didn't write down which color it was. I was busy like writing down the first one, and I didn't really look to see which color the second one was that they bought. So it was another popping mushroom. I'm not sure which color. Then I sold another one of my knit beanies, and this was a green one, and that sold for $20. Next, I sold one of my rainbow bees, and this is the variegated rainbow, and that sold for $15. I redid my inventory and I went through everything that I had, and I realized I had more rainbow bees than I thought. So I decided to put one out at this market, and it did sell. So I'm thinking maybe I will start putting one out at each market since I have quite a few of them left. And that was everything I sold for the third hour. So into the fourth hour. In the fourth hour, I only sold 2 things. So the first thing that I sold was a pink axolotl, and this was a light pink one, and that sold for $20. Then I sold a leggy frog, which sold for $20, and I have had this leggy frog around for a while. I used to sell a lot of leggy frogs, and slowly they just weren't selling as well, and so I ended up with just this one left, and it's been this one sitting there for like months, so I'm really glad that it finally sold. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to just take the leggy frogs off of my sign and not make them anymore since it is taking so long for them to sell. And then for the 5th hour, I only sold 2 items as well. So I sold a variegated rainbow popping mushroom, and that sold for $15. And then I sold a blue mini octo, and that sold for $10. Then in the next hour, this is when it kind of started slowing down again. It was getting a little bit colder, so I only sold 1 thing in this next hour. And so So it was actually only one transaction, but I sold 2 items. So I sold my tooth, and this was a pattern test that I did, I want to say last December or January, and I've had it around, but I haven't put it out at all of my markets, and I think it's really cute, but it's kind of just more of a niche item. And but the person that bought it actually works at a dentist, and so that's why she got it, which I think is really fun. And then they also got a bee as well, just a classic bee. So those sold together for $45. The bee was $15 and the tooth was $30. And then for the last hour, I just sold a few things. So I sold another one of the gray penguins, and this was one with orange eyes. And then I finally sold another colored penguin, but honestly, I think it's because that was my last gray one. So I only made 3 to restock, and I sold all 3 of those. And then I also sold a blue one finally. But I don't know, if I would have had another gray one, they might have just got the gray one as well. But both of those penguins sold together for $40 because they are $20 each. And then the last thing that I sold at this market was a tan knit beanie, and it sold for $20. So although it was a cold market, it was a really fun one, and my friend came to hang out with me for like the second half of the market, and she actually brought me some pecan pie. So we ate that, we had coffee, and we kind of just hung out. Oh, I forgot to say, at the beginning of the market, when it was super, super cold, we got some hot chocolate. And so I was like, take a picture of me. Like, this is crazy that we're at a market right now, how cold it is. So I'm like sitting there with my hot chocolate looking like I'm freezing, because I pretty much was. But, anyways, so it was really fun. And, so I'll go ahead and tell you the total for this market. So the total that I made was $318, which is really good, especially because I have never done a market here. I really didn't know what to expect. And I believe this is only like the 3rd market at this location. So I think that was pretty good for doing this for the first time. This is my booth after the market. You can see an axolotl missing and the leggy frog. Most of the larger items are still there, and then some of the beanies are missing. Okay, so now I'll tell you about the exciting news. So while I was sitting out there at my booth, the worker from inside the shop came out and asked me if I wanted to have a booth in there. And I really wasn't sure how much it would cost, but he told me that the lady that has the crochet booth inside the store was going to quit because she had another full-time job and she didn't really have time to continue stocking her booth. And so she wanted to not be in the store anymore, and so they wanted to find a new crocheter. And I kind of thought that was like perfect timing, because it's not like I'm going in there and there's a bunch of other crochet booths there already. So I thought it was a good idea. So they showed me the space, and they told me all about it and everything. So I did decide by the end of the market. I kind of thought about it a little bit, and then by the end of the market, I told them yes, that I do want to have my plushies in their store. So it is official. I have my plushies in their store, and I went and set it all up a few days ago, and I will put in pictures of my shelf there and everything that I took. So I decided to put all of my Christmassy items in there since I am done with my Christmas markets for this year. So maybe I will sell some of the Christmas items there, and then I had just some other small items there as well. So I'm really excited. This is my first time to have my plushies in a store. So I'm hoping that it goes well, and I'm assuming that it will, because they do have a fair amount of traffic, and the booth fee is not like insane at all. It's a really good deal, and so I am really, really excited about it. So hopefully I will give you guys an update probably like the first month after I've had my stuff in there for a month. I will probably do a video about it, telling you guys how it went and what I sold and how much I sold. So if you are local in Oklahoma, then you can actually go find my items in the store. It is called The Oracle, OKC. So you can find their store on Instagram and TikTok as well. So this was a really good market for me. I just had so much fun. It was like an amazing day, and it was like the best day. I got to hang out with my friend. I got hot chocolate, coffee. She brought me pie, and then I got to put my plushies in the store. So it was just an amazing day, and I'm so happy that I did this market. And I will probably do more markets, even though I already have like my booth in the shop now. When they do markets in the future, I probably will still want to do a booth outside because I still have a lot more plushies than what fit in there. So you'll probably see me do some more markets at this venue sometime soon. Well, that is pretty much the end of the video. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and comment below what your favorite thing I sold today was. And make sure you're subscribed because I have a lot more videos coming out soon as well. Thanks for watching.